Every single day, millions of developers make the same ugly compromise. They stuff complex search filters into URLs that break at 8,000 characters, or they abuse post for read only operations and lose caching entirely. For 16 years, we have been waiting for a fix, and on June 15th, 2026, the IETF finally delivered it. RFC 10008, the HTTP query method, the first new HTTP verb since patch dropped in 2010. I am going to show you exactly what it is, why it matters, and how to use it today. Let's go. Welcome to the Solo Engineer. Let's get started. First, quick context. An RFC, request for comments, is how the internet gets its rules. Every protocol you use daily, HTTP, TCP, DNS, WebSockets, all started as an RFC published by the IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force. RFC 10008 was authored by Julian Rask from Greenbytes, James Snell from Cloudflare, and Mike Bishop from Akamai. These are people who literally build the internet's infrastructure. Now let me give you timeline for HTTP methods. In 1996, the HTTP 1.0 gave us get, post, and head, the basics. In 1999, it added put, delete, options, and trace, more REST semantics. In 2010, RFC 5789 introduced patch for partial updates. And then, for 16 years, nothing. Until now, June 2026, Query joins the family, and it solves a problem that has haunted every backend developer since the dawn of REST APIs. Why we need Query? Okay, so what's the actual problem? Let me break it down with a real scenario. You are building a product search API. Users need to filter by category, price range, rating, brands, features, sorting, pagination, maybe 20 different parameters. You are semantically correct. It's a read operation, it's safe, idempotent, cacheable, beautiful if you are using get option. But all your data goes into the URL. Look at this mess. It will look like this. That's already pushing limits. Now add 20 more filters. You hit the 8,000 character wall. And worse, every single one of those parameters gets logged in browser history, saved in proxy logs, cached in plain text. If any of that data is sensitive, medical searches, financial queries, you have got a privacy disaster. Option 2, use post. Now you can send a beautiful structured JSON body, nested objects, arrays, and complexity you want. But post is explicitly defined as unsafe and non-idempotent in the HTTP spec. What does that mean in practice? First, CDNs like Cloudflare and AWS CloudFront refuse to cache post responses. Every single request hammers your backend directly. Number 2, if the network drops mid request, the browser can't auto retry. Instead, you get that annoying pop up. Are you sure you want to resubmit form data? Because the protocol assumes post might create a duplicate order or change the credit card twice. Third, the proxies and gateways treat post as potentially dangerous. They can't optimize, can't deduplicate, can't make assumption. So for 16 years, developers have been choosing between correct semantics and technical limitations, or technical flexibility with wrong semantics. That's the gap query fills. How query works? The query method is beautiful, simple. It's get with a request body. That's it. But the implications are massive. Here's what a query request looks like. Query product search HTTP 1.1 and host, suppose take example api.example.com. Content type is application JSON. So it has divided this part, and look at that, clean, structured, readable, no URL limits. Here's what it makes special: 5 properties that change everything. Safe. The server guarantees no state changes. It will never modify a database, never create a record, never trigger a side effect. It's a pure read operation. Second is idempotent. Send it once, send it 10 times, same result. If your connection drops, the client retries automatically. No warnings, no duplicates. Third, cacheable. This is the big one. CDNs can now cache this response. The cache key is generated from the URI plus a hash of the request body. Same query body to same URL. Served from cache, your backend barely gets touched. Fourth, this is a content type is mandatory. You must include it. The server knows exactly what format to expect if it's missing. The server rejects with a 415 unsupported media type. This is stricter than GET, and that's a feature. It prevents ambiguity. Fifth is shareable reference. The server can respond with a location header, something like queries slash word text. Now anyone can later do a simple get on that URL to fetch the same result. Turn a complex query into a bookmark. Now come to the live demo. So let me show you this in action. I have built an interactive demo to simulate the full request response cycle. So if I click send query, watch what happens. We send a query to API product search with our JSON body. The server processes it and we get back a 200 OK with our results. Notice the response headers. Cache control max age equals to 300. This response can be cached for 5 minutes. Accept query application JSON tells clients what format the server accepts, and the content location is the query A7F3B2C1, a permalink to these exact results. Response time is 142 milliseconds and it is safe, idempotent, cacheable. Now click on send cache. Boom, 3 milliseconds. The CDN had it cached. Look at the headers, X cache hit. The request never even reached our backend server. This is why query is revolutionary. You get the full payload flexibility of post but with get level caching performance. For high traffic search APIs, this reduces backend load by potentially 80 to 90%. So how do you actually implement this today? So let's look at the adoption part. In Node.js, with Express, it's dead simple. Modern versions of Node already recognize the query method in the HTTP parser. You just handle it like any other method. In Go, it's even simpler. The standard library handles any method string out of the box. Now, where does adoption stand today? Backend runtimes, Node.js, Go, Rust, Python, they already support it. The HTTP parsers don't care what verb you use. OpenAPI 3.2 has built-in query method support for API documentation. Browsers are rolling it out gradually with CORS pre-flight support. CDNs like Cloudflare and AWS are implementing body-aware caching. This is the critical piece that unlocks the full potential. My recommendation is start using query today for internal APIs and new projects. For public-facing APIs, offer it alongside your existing post endpoints as a progressive enhancement. Now, when to use query? So this is the comparison table for the get post query. Use query when your search filters exceed what fits comfortably in a URL. You need structured JSON, graph, QL or SQL in your query. You want CDN caching on complex search results. You are passing sensitive data that should not appear in URLs or logs. You need safe auto retry on network failures. Now use get when your query is simple, a few parameters that fit in the URL. You want maximum compatibility with every client and proxy. You need the URL itself to be shareable and bookmarkable. Keep using post when the operation actually modifies state, creates, updates or deletes something. You are submitting forms that trigger actions. The rule is simple. It's a read operation with complex input. Query is your verb. So RFC 10008 is one of those quiet standards that will fundamentally change how we build APIs over the next few years. 16 years in the making and it's finally here. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on protocols, AI models and the tech that actually shapes how we build software, hit that subscribe button. I'm the solo engineer and this is where the tech meets reality. Drop a comment. Are you going to adopt query? in your next project. What's stopping you? See you in the next one. Till then, bye bye. Take care.